we talked about, or we introduced information systems. We
Yeah.
looked at the definition of information system. We also looked at computer information systems. Again,
Mm.
we looked at the various components that make up information system, and
Yeah.
that is where we stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is where we stopped. So today, let's pick up from there, and we continue from there.
Okay.
Yeah, let's pick up from there and we continue. So okay, you will have to turn off your mic.
Oh my.
Yeah, just turn off your
Okay.
mic. Okay. All right. So we looked at the typical components of information systems, where we said we have hardware, software, databases, network, and procedures, and we expanded on all of those. And we talked about the first four components, which is hardware, software, databases, and network. And we said they are actually the general parts of information technology, that is IT. Yeah. And I was trying to explain the difference between IT and ICT, and I promised that I would get back to that later on. Okay, so I want us to start talking about the importance of information systems in an organization. The importance of information systems in an organization. In other words, how are information systems important to an organization? How are information systems important to an organization? Basically, that is what we are talking about. Now, for an organization or a company uh, to optimize or to get the maximum benefits from its information system, then the company needs to explore the various capabilities that information system has. Now, it's of essence for us to know from the word go that the importance of information systems is basically or is majorly based or gained by the fact that information systems process the data from the organization or from the company inputs to actually come up with information that is useful to manage or in managing the organization operations. So the organization has inputs. So the work of an information system is to process that input to generate information that is going to be used in managing the operations of that organization, or managing the operations of that company or institution or whatever. Now, to ensure that we have an increase in terms of the effectiveness of the information system, you can do a number of things to increase its effectiveness. One, you can add more data uh, so that you can make the information system more accurate. Number two, you can use the information that you get from that information system in new ways. In other words, you can you can use that information system in various ways to just make the information system effective. So we are going to look at different areas where information systems are important to an organization, and the first importance is business communication systems. We're going to look at business communication systems. Business communication systems. Now, the management of a business um, has a role or a responsibility of gathering and distributing information. Okay, information systems can actually bring the efficiency in this process, okay, by just allowing the business managers to be able to communicate rapidly. So the information systems are providing a way through which business managers are able to communicate to various departments or various employees or various staffs rapidly. And this is happening through things like email, for example. The email is one way that is quick and effective. Okay. So apart from the managers using the information systems to have rapid communication, they can also use the information systems to store documents. So that is the second that is the second point when it comes to business communication systems. One, it is for rapid communication. Number two, it is it is used to store documents. Now documents are normally stored in folders, and the folders that are so the managers can store documents in folders, and then they are able to share those documents with the employees that need that information. Okay, so when we have this particular type of collaboration, when you have this particular type of communication, it enables the employees to collaborate in a way that is even more systematic. So we have documents stored in folders, and then we are able to share the folders. So that brings collaboration. It makes collaboration more systematic. Now, apart from the manager having rapid communication with other people in the organization, or apart from storing documents, an employee is able to communicate some additional information by just making some changes on the system. An employee can make changes on a document in the system, and the system is able to track those changes. Okay, so the manager is able to get the inputs, and then is going to send the newly revised documents to maybe the targeted audience. For example, there is an issue that needs to be fixed on the accounting documents. The accounting department works on the documents, and then that document is shared and is accessible to the manager and any other department that needs that information. So that's all about business communication. Now, number two, we have business operations management. Business operations management. Business operations management. Of essence, you need to understand that the way you are going to manage the operations of your company is actually dependent on the information that you have. The way you manage the operations of the company is dependent on the information you have. Okay, so we have information systems now offering us a more competent or more complete or more recent information. The information systems are offering us with more recent information. So when we have more recent and complete information, it allows you as the manager of that company to be able to have smooth operations, to be able to have efficient operations, because how you operate your company is majorly based on the information that you have. Okay, so we can actually use information systems to gain what we call a cost advantage. We can use it to gain a cost advantage over our competitors, or to bring a difference between us by making sure that we are offering better services. Why? Because we are well informed. So when we are well informed, for example, about the market prices, about some stock changes, about some market prices fluctuations and all that. So when we are informed, it means now we are going to offer products that are better. We are going to offer services that are better as compared to our competitors. For instance, if you are selling tea, you are selling tea, and another company is also selling tea. Another company is also processing tea and is selling tea. What is going to set you apart from the other companies is actually the quality of your tea and also the price of your tea. Now, what is going to enhance the quality of your tea? What is going to enhance the price of your tea? It is the information that you have. For instance, you find out that a large number of the people in the market prefer tea that has ginger in it. So if that is the case, if they prefer tea that has ginger in it, you have that information. You see, the other companies don't have, but you have that information. So now it means you're going to actually process your tea with ginger. Yeah, you're processing it with ginger. So uh, people are wondering why you are selling a lot, but you are selling a lot because the market wants tea that has ginger. They don't want to put tea leaves and then they add ginger. They don't want to buy ginger and tea leaves. You understand? So they want to have everything fixed at once. You put tea, the tea has ginger, and you have that information. So you see now you're going to improve your product to suit the requirements of your of the clients in the market. So the quality of your product is based on the information you have. How you manage your organization, how you manage your company is largely based on the information you have. How you manage the various business operations. Okay, that gives you an advantage over the others. Now you need things like sales data. Okay, the sales data is going to give you insights about what are customers buying the most. Okay, do you have Naivas membership card? Naivas. Now you see why you think they are giving you the card for points. You know, people think that when they give you the card, they want to award you points. No, they are using that card to collect sales data, so they know this card. The owner of this card does shopping every 5th of every month, and when this person comes to do shopping, this person constantly buys A, B, C, D. You understand? So they do the analysis and then they know on this particular date, for example, we are selling a lot of flour on that date. So many people are buying flour. Like up on average, we are selling 100 bags. You see, on that particular date, if maybe they checked the stock yesterday and the bags were less than 100, they are going to stock it to 100 because they know this date we are selling this. So the card is there for customer. I mean for sales data. You are giving them you are giving them the data. Okay, you're giving them the data, and they in turn try to make you feel happy with a point. They give you points and they tell you can redeem the points. You see, so when you're taking the card because you want the points, but for them, they're not interested in giving you the points. They're just interested in data. That is how strong data is. So you need sales data because the sales data will give you the insight on things like what are the customers buying. Okay, if this is what the customers are buying, then you will be able to stock that product, or you'll be able to produce the items that are actually selling well, being guided by the information, the data you are getting from the information system about the sales. Number three importance is company decision making. Number three is company decision making. Company decision making. Now, the information systems of the company will be able to help you to make better decisions by making sure uh, the information system delivers to you all the information that you need, and also you can model the results of your decisions. So you're making the decision based on the information that is now. Just assume you are the manager of butter or a shoe production company, and you are going into uh, a peak season, okay, or you are tied into making a decision of whether to produce more shoes or to produce less shoes. You cannot just wake up and say, you know what, let's produce less shoes. There are some pieces of information that you need. One, you need to ask yourself, how many shoes, how many pairs of these particular shoes do we have in stock already produced, and how long are they going to last? You need to know things like how many companies have ordered how many shoes. Okay, you check the orders that are there. Okay, then you need to also check on the demand in the market. The demand in the market. For example, it is in January. When it is in January, uh, people are going to do shopping for their kids. Kids are joining school. So it will be wise as a manager to produce more school shoes than producing these casual wears. So it will be a wise decision to produce more school shoes than producing sneakers. Yeah. Now you see, for you to decide to produce more school shoes, you need to have the information. Like in Kenya, people are joining schools in January. So in January, people are doing shopping for students. So you will be stupid if you don't have school shoes in your company at that time, because you won't sell. You also need to look at things like that is demand. You've known the demand. Now this period has demand. Now on a year like December, people are busy buying Christmas clothes, Christmas clothes and shoes. So you'll be a fool again to produce school shoes, so many school shoes in the month of December, because you're not going to sell them. Yeah, you will have to wait until January. So what are you going to use to pay your employees that month? So that is the month where you focus on fashion. You make sneakers and good jeans and capes and all that, because it is a year where many people are focusing on fashion. Many people are focusing on dressing to kill. Okay. But I've never heard anybody who died because somebody dressed well. Anyway, that's what they say, dressing to kill. So you need to really have that information. So the decision that you make is based on the information that you have. Now, it is the same thing applying to even when you're a young man, probably married or not married, or you are yet to get married. So I believe before you settle down for a lady, you do your research. Yeah, you have a number of them. You have maybe 3 ladies in mind or 4 ladies in mind. At times you even have 10. I know you men. I know, but your mic is off. I can't hear you. Abdallah, what are you saying? Your
I'm
mic is.
saying even more,
Yeah,
even more,
true.
even
Yeah,
more
yeah,
something.
yeah. I understand. So you have many of them. Different textures, different complexions. You have brown ones. You have oh, they say white. I don't know. I don't know if there's anybody who is white. Anyway, then you have dark skinned. You have people that are in between. They are not dark. You understand? You have people with shapes and those without shapes. But at the end of the day, for you to decide, I wanna marry this one, you have to do a research. In other words, you need to have information about all of them. Like this one is good in cooking but is very poor in financial management. So the moment I get married to this one, I become poor in a month. You see? Then this one is good in financial management. When it comes to cooking, he's also good. But anakasirikanga haraka. So you see? Then you try checking with all this information, which of these ladies will I settle down with after considering all that you know? So it is the same thing that even our parents used to do. For those who uh, did not have the privilege to look for wives for themselves, the parent was would dig in a lot of information about the family, the background family of that girl. They would ask questions like, is there any person who was born mad in that family? Do we have any person who was born with a disability? You see, all those stuff, all those stuff. Why? Because the decisions that you make in daily lives, leave alone in companies and organizations, even in your daily life, is dependent on the information you have. It is dependent on the information you have. So, information systems uh, help us in company decision making, because when you have a decision, basically it's going to involve choosing maybe a course of action where you have alternatives, okay, and maybe doing something that corresponds to that action. You have Zainab, you have Firdaus, you have Halima. Those are options, yeah. So it involves you picking what? Picking an alternative. And when you pick an alternative, you should be able to to say why. Why Firdaus and not Halima? Yeah, you can't just say, I love that girl. No, yeah, you don't work that way. Why this one and not this one? This one is good, but akona hii tabia, I cannot withstand this. That's why I dropped her. See, things like that. Why did you buy Mazda Demio and not Vitz? Many people won't tell you. They'll just tell you, I didn't have enough money. My friend, you can wait to add the money for you to buy the car you want. Now, if you train yourself to a level where you ask yourself questions before making a decision, you will most of the time find yourself making the right decisions. Most of the times you'll find yourself making the right decisions because you have alternatives that you need to choose. So if you have information that is accurate, one, you have information that is up to date, two, you will be able to make a choice with confidence because the information you have is accurate. The information you have is up to date. So you will have confidence in making your decision. Now, if you have maybe more than one choices that are looking that are more appealing to you, or they are at similar level. So we say Halima and Firdaus, your gauge imewaweka the same level, and you don't want to marry two wives. So you need to go on and still run some different scenarios. You can even put them in tests. Yeah, you run some different scenarios. Then you check which one is actually better. Yeah, I'm not saying you should do that. I'm just trying to explain a concept. Okay, I'm not teaching you marital issues. I'm teaching you information systems. Okay, last but not least, that is number 4. We have company record keeping. Company record keeping. Company record keeping. Now, when you're running a company or an organization, you need to have records of your activities, especially for financial and the various regulatory purposes. Okay? You have records of those activities. Those records are going to help you to regulate finances. They are going to help you to even find maybe some causes of problems. Some problem occurred in the company, for you to be able to find out what caused this problem, you will go back to your records. For example, you did an estimation of uh, a 30% increase in demand in the market, and then when you produced your goods, you realized you stayed with your goods, they were not bought. So it means your estimation was wrong. So how was that estimation made? It was made based on records that you had put. So you are able to track and see, you see, we made wrong estimation here. So keeping records helps you to regulate financially, and also to be able to track the cause of a problem when a problem occurs. And also it can help you on taking maybe a corrective action. For instance, a problem occurred this year, and then you took this action, and that is recorded. 10 years later, if a similar problem occurs, people go back to the documents and they see the cause of action that was taken, and they check, is this same cause of action applicable to this? Can we still do the same thing, or we need to think of something else, and all that and all that and all that. So record keeping is very essential, and that is being offered by information systems. Okay. Now the information system also is able to store documents, and also some revision history. It stores information about the company, things that happened many years ago. Okay. It has things like communication records. Yeah, somebody called, and in other companies even the voice notes are recorded. So if you claim you were mishandled, they are going to revisit the conversation and see were you really mishandled. All that. So we have communication records. We even have operational data being stored. Now in exploiting the recording capability of an information system is we actually consider how we organize the data. That is the trick. How do you organize your data? If you want to exploit the capability of record keeping in the organization, we focus on data organization. How do you arrange your data? How do you organize your data? Using the the system. How do you use the system to process the data? Number 3, how do you present that information? So those are 3 things. 1, how do you organize it? How do you process it? And how do you present it? Presentation simply means bringing it to the people, showing it to the people that needs that information. Presenting it. So the trick is in there. How is the data organized? Wrongly organized data will most definitely lead to wrong answers from an information system. You can imagine when if you are doing data entry, and instead of feeding the fees to students, you start feeding the balances. Now you can see what's the problem. So the current fee is actually, I mean the fee the student paid is the balance. You end up losing money, right? So you organize your data wrongly. What happens is you're gonna pay for that mistake. You need to be keen in organizing your data. You need to be keen on how the data is processed, and also how that data is presented, because that information, you might not consider it important now, but in the historical information need, that information will be important. I'll give you a simple example. At times we handle students. Maybe a student comes, does a course, does not finish the course, disappears, maybe goes have fun, yeah, for like 2 years. And then after 2 years, they come back and they say, you know, I finished my course. I have come for my certificate. Maybe the lecturer who was teaching that student moved to another college. Is no longer here. Now, you see, if we are not keeping records, what does it mean? We need to start calling the guy, but the guy is no longer working with us. You see the problem? That is why we have an aspect of keeping records even for student marks. Why are we keeping records for student marks? Because we know there is a time you might claim you did the exam and you did not do. That is why during exams there is a document you sign. Yeah? So that when you come and say, you know, I did the exam, we go back to the documents and we check, your name is not here. How did you do the exam? The people who did the exams, their names are here. They did it on this date. They signed here. Where is your name? You see? So you cannot defend yourself. Okay? And if you did the exam, you know, I can easily catch you. I'll tell you, go back and bring the paper that the teacher returned to you. You see? The teacher marked and returned the paper. So go bring it. Now the moment you bring it, it has Rifkin's College logo and it shows. You see, now we can simply adjust that. Why? Because we are keeping records. But if you're not keeping records, you're going to frustrate me, right? You're going to even start shouting, you know, I did the exam, I don't see my marks, you see, all that. But if I have my records, and my records are showing you are not appearing there, you have nothing to say. You have to go back and sit for the exam. That's how powerful record keeping is. You might need it in future. You might need it in future. You can also use the information that you store to prepare maybe some cost estimates. Some cost estimates. You want to do a project and you did a similar project, you stored the costs. Now you want to do a project that relates to that project. You can simply do some cost estimates using the information that is available in the system. You can also do a forecast. You can predict the cost of something. You can predict the cost of something based on the information that you have. Now, how do people predict weather? They predict weather based on the data that they have. How did they know it rains in April? Like in April, we have long rains in Mombasa. How did they know? They recorded the levels of rains for a very long time. And they realized that in these months, we have long rains. So, they are able to predict based on the data they have. So everywhere, that is why I began by saying, the strength of every organization is data. Every institution. We call them meteorologists. They rely on data. Doctors rely on data. There's literally no one who doesn't rely on data. Even the government itself. That is why if you want to become very rich very fast, you start collecting data. But now it's not easy. Assuming that you have data about everyone in the world, governments will come and buy that data from you. Companies will come and buy that data from you. Now, okay, a simple question. How do you think Facebook is making money? Are you paying Facebook? Are you paying Facebook to be in Facebook?
Um, I think no. I think no one pays Facebook to make it. But I think it's about the data information. And in fact, I was to ask you, sir, how do people make money through social medias and everything? That's the question I was to go. I was just asking.
You know, Facebook is free, but Mark Zuckerberg is one of the richest people in the world. And Facebook is free. They are even giving you free mode. You can browse, you can be there without data. So, how are they making money? Simple. Number one, when you are there, you become a market. When you are in the Facebook platform, you automatically become a market. So this guy has billions of people with Facebook accounts. So it means this guy has the market. If the guy has the market, what does it mean? Company can pay the guy to advertise. because he has the market. That is one way. Adverts. Okay? Number two, when you buy a new shoe, you post. Yeah? When you visit a place, you post. When you do something, you post. So at the end of the day, they are able to know that this guy loves Nike. Yeah? This guy loves Nike. So many people visited this place. This place is this and this. So they can start sending you advertisement for what? For Nike. Now, I want you to be careful with, I mean, to be keen on this. If you Google about shoes for 2 consecutive days, when you are online, you're always Googling about shoes. The advertisements will change. They'll start bringing you advertisement for shoes. How do they know? Okay, you've ever received email addresses from companies advertising their products, and you never gave them your email. How did they get the email? These guys are literally selling data. They are selling data to companies.
So, so I have a question. Sometimes,
Uh-huh.
sometimes I receive I receive some message through my WhatsApp, and the people they ask me like, "Oh, we have an online job. Can you do 1, 2, 3?" I'm like, "You guys, where did you got my number?" And I even don't know how did they get my number.
Yeah, okay. At times
So how do this happen?
at times we have people who are just guessing numbers. But I'm talking about marketing
Okay.
emails. I'm talking about marketing emails.
Okay.
Somebody is texting you, is sending you an email, and is even the person has the guts to mention your name. Yeah, you don't know them.
Yeah.
So okay, what is basically happening is
Yeah.
Facebook sells data. Yeah, Facebook sells data. They sell data to companies. That is what people don't know, but that is the truth. That is the truth. They sell data. They have the data. So if a company needs data, they sell that data. That data is very important. For example, a politician wants to win elections in Kenya. Do you know it's even important for that politician to know which county has how many people? That is even important for that person to know. How many people are in Kilifi County? How many people are in this county? How many people are registered voters in this county? You understand? So information is needed because it moves the world. It moves the world. Okay? If I have a platform, I have provided you with a platform and I say this platform is secure. So I allow you to chat with your friend and I'm saying this conversation is end-to-end encrypted. That's what they say in WhatsApp. The conversation is end-to-end encrypted. But ask yourself, when you send a picture to somebody on WhatsApp, does the picture leave your phone? It does not, right? You have the copy of the picture in your phone. The person gets a copy, and in the WhatsApp database, there is a copy of that picture. There is a copy of that picture in their database. So if you've been sharing nudes via WhatsApp, what does it mean? The WhatsApp databases have your naked pictures. Even if you go and delete it, you are deleting it from your platform, but in the databases it is there. So you post a picture on Facebook, then you rush, you realize this picture is bad, you rush and delete it. You deleted it there, you cannot see it, your friends cannot see it. But that picture is in their database. It is not deleted in their database. Are you understanding? Yes, so they get to know. They know this person from this country loves shoes. This also loves shoes. So a company contacts, maybe Bata contacts them and say, we want data about people who love shoes. So they are going to give, maybe they sell the name, your email, the shoes, the most type of shoes that you Google online and everything. And these guys take the emails and they start sending you marketing emails. Advertising for shoes. You even wonder, how do they know I love shoes? How do they know I love wearing Nike? So Mark Zuckerberg is own business. But for us, we think it's free. It's free stuff. Now, how do you make money on Facebook, you as a user? Simple. Go to Facebook, create your page. When you create your page, the moment you have many people following you, you have the market. That's it. If you have many people following you, you have the what? The market. So companies can pay you to advertise. Companies can pay you to advertise to your people because you have the market. How do you make money on YouTube? It's the same thing. The many subscribers you have, the many people viewing your content, the more money you are being paid. Why? Because in the midst of your content, YouTube is able to play ads for companies there. Because if everybody removes their content from YouTube, YouTube becomes useless because they can't just post ads. You can't be there to watch ads. Are ads interesting? You can't be there watching ads every time. So there needs to be interesting information. And then, in the midst of that interesting information, an ad is attached. And nowadays we even have mandatory ads. You cannot skip. You have to watch it until it finishes. And that's how people make money. Yeah, so is it possible to make money online? Very possible. Do you have the following? Do you have the massive following? Make your 10 subscribers, your 10k subscribers on YouTube. Create good content. Now what happens is ads start playing on your content, you monetize and you get something from them. So that's it. Apart from that, companies can come and actually strike a deal with you to advertise their content, especially if you have massive following, you've become famous. You get endorsement, we call them endorsement deals. You're advertising, so you see maybe Eric Commandi is advertising milk, Lato milk, and you think the guy is acting comedy. No, the guy is being paid to do that. The guy is making money. Yeah? And that's how money is made out there. That's how money is made. And that's how strong information is. So I want us to move to the features and capabilities of different types of information systems. The features and capabilities. The features and capabilities of different types of information systems. So before we even focus on the features, we need to look at the types of information systems. We need to look at what are the different types of information system. Now, let's look at history. Now, when computing was coming into the face in the early days, anytime an information system was needed, the information system was tailor-made. What do we mean by tailor-made? If your clothes are tailor-made, it means, one, they are unique because they were made to fit your requirements. So they are unique in terms of size, terms of style, and everything. So if there was a problem that required an information system was being designed to sort that problem. That's what we mean by tailor-made. It was not designed to sort many other problems. No, that one single problem. That's the meaning of tailor-made. But it soon became important. It soon became apparent that, the people realized that many of the problems that these information systems are made to solve, they have similar characteristics. You have created an information system to solve problem A, but problem B has many characteristics that are similar to problem A, and maybe just one or two different characteristics. So they realized that these problems, they shared some certain characteristics. Now, because of that, there needed to be an attempt to actually try to create a single system that is going to solve a variety of problems. We are now moving from tailor-made. We are creating a single system that is going to solve a variety or a bigger range of problems that are similar. as long as these problems have similar characteristics, this one information system should be able to solve all those problems. But as they were doing this, they realized that it was, for them to be able to actually do that, it was necessary at first to be able to define a number of things, which include one, how, okay, how the information system is going to be used. That is one. How is it going to be used? Number two, where is that information system going to be used? Number three, why is it needed? So for them to be able to create a system that is able to solve a wide range of similar problems, a determination needed to be made on why do we need the system. Number two, where will it be used? Number three, how will it be used? Okay. Now, when these considerations came into place, then there was need for a research to be made on a way we are going to classify information systems accurately. There was need now to classify information systems, put it in groups, put it in categories, and we say these information systems are for this is for this, these are for this. So when that realization came, then a research needed to be or began to actually try to classify these information systems. And that takes us to our subtopic, different types of information systems in an organization. Different types of information systems in an organization. Different types of information systems in an organization. Now, the different types of information systems that we have are identified through a process of classification. What do we mean by classification? When we say classification, we simply mean you have an issue with your network. All right, so we can continue.
Okay.
So I'm saying that we are able to know the different types of information systems by the process of classification. Now, classification is simply a method through which we are able to categorize things or put things in a group and treat them as a single unit. That is classification. So classification has a long history, beginning from the classification of things in the natural world, for example, classification of plants, classification of animals, okay? But if you look at the classification of information systems, it is not actually part of the natural classification. Sawa. Now the reason is simple because these information systems are normally created and they are acquired by human beings. They are created by human beings. They are acquired by human beings. They are used by human beings. So they cannot fall in the category of natural classification. So the classification of this information system into the various types is actually a technique that is very important when you are designing systems, and it's also important when you're also discussing the applications of a system. But there is no fixed definition that is actually used, that is being governed by natural law as to the type and category of these information systems. So it is an abstraction or a simple it is just a concept, okay, that was actually created as a way of making complex problems simple through identifying various areas that are common between different things. So you look at the areas that are common between the different things to just break down that complex problem, trying to make it simple. So we have one of the oldest and widely used method of classification that was used to classify information systems. It was known as the pyramid model. The method was known as the pyramid model. Sorry. So you might be asking yourself a question like, how many different kinds of information systems are there? How many different kinds of information systems are there? Now, just like I explained before, we do not have a specific answer to that question. We don't have a simple answer to that question of how many are there. Okay? Now, this is simply because depending on how you are going to create your classification, you can have almost any number of types of information systems, depending on how you are going to do your classification. And depending on how you're going to do your classification, you can have any number of different types of information systems. So we don't have agreed upon types of information systems. We say now these are the global information systems that are known by everybody. Just like we know sodium chloride is NaCl at a global scale. Yeah, it's not the same with this because it is dependent on how you are going to do that classification. However, it is very important to recall that the different kinds of information systems that are found in organizations are existing in those organizations to handle or to deal with a given problem and tasks that are actually in that organization. So the reason as to why an organization is going to have an information system is, one, there are tasks that needs to be done in that organization. Number two, there is a problem that this information system is coming in to solve. Okay? So because of this, there are so many attempts to classify information systems into different types. And these attempts are actually relying on the way in which the various tasks and responsibilities in that organization are divided. Because different organizations have different different types of responsibilities. Okay? Now, if you look at the most organizations, they are hierarchical. The way these organizations are actually categorizing power and leadership is hierarchical. So we have managers, then we have mid managers, yeah, something like that. Okay? So when we classify the different classes of information systems, we tend to follow the hierarchy of the organization. Most of the times we tend to follow the hierarchy of the organization. For example, if you have managers, then you can have management information systems. If you have maybe, let's say, mid managers, yeah, maybe other organizations don't have mid managers. That is why I'm saying there are no specific types in this case. It depends on, most of the times it depends on the hierarchy of the organization, because the classification is going to follow the hierarchy. Okay. Now, based on the hierarchy, most of the times we are describing this classification based on what we call the pyramid model. Okay, the pyramid model. The pyramid model is the way in which the systems are actually arranged, that is actually mirroring the nature, or is bringing a picture of the nature of the tasks that are found in the different levels in the organization. So we have the first example is actually a 3-level pyramid. This level, I'll share my screen so that you see what I'm trying to show you. me just share my screen a moment. Yes. So this is a three-level. This is a three-level pyramid. This is a three-level pyramid. So I want you to see. We have at the top here. We have executive information systems. Executive information systems are the information systems that are used by the executives or the topmost managers, people like the CEO, and they use these information systems to make strategic decisions. Then below this we have management information systems that are used by the middle managers, and these management information systems are used to make tactical decisions. Now, what do we mean by tactical decisions? And what is the difference between tactical decision and strategic decision? A strategic decision is going to affect that company in future. In other words, for a very long period of time, or maybe many years later. And that decision can only be made by the topmost executive, especially the CEO, the organization owners, the company owners. They can make decisions that are going to affect that company even 10 years later. We call those strategic decisions. Then the management information systems are used to make the tactical decisions, and they are used by middle managers. So these are decisions that have a short-term effect. They are decisions that have a short-term effect. At the bottom level here, we have transaction processing systems that are used in making operational decisions. So transactional processing systems are used by, we can say, the low-level employees in a company. For example, the receptionists, the front desk, in other words. And they are there. These are the people that are handling the basic transactions of the company. So information is basically flowing from one level here to the other. And that is why if you look at my arrow here, this is pointing two-way. Yeah? It is pointing two-way. So that means the basic operational input coming from the transactional processing system is used as as input in the management information systems to actually making tactical decisions. But information can also come from the management information systems all the way to the executive information systems, and that information is used to make strategic decisions. But again, information can come from any of these levels going downwards. So it can come from here coming to the management. It can come from the management going to the transaction. It can come from the management going to the transaction. So this is a three level. Okay. Now, if we are going to change the criteria to the different types of maybe things like date, information, and the knowledge that these different levels in the organization have, we can create a different pyramid. We can move from the three-level pyramid to a five-level pyramid. This pyramid here. Now this pyramid is going to classify information system into five, where at the bottom here we have the transaction processing system. And in the transaction processing system, what is happening here is we have the basic information here, the basic data. So this can be the front desk, for example, the basic data. So when a student comes and registers at the front desk here, the student submits maybe a name, the student submits the course the student is doing, the student is given admission number, the student pays fees, something of the sort, the admission fee. This is basic information. Then this information is used as input in the office support systems. Now the office support systems then, from the office support systems we go to the management information systems now. Here, that is the middle managers. That is the middle managers. And then from the middle managers, we can have systems that are used that are dedicated for decision making, and we call them decision support systems, that they support decision making. And these systems give us the explicit knowledge now. Then from the decision support systems, we can go now to the executive information systems that will give us the tactical or the tacit knowledge. So this basically shows us that there is no fixed what do I say? There is no fixed way of classifying information systems. It is based on the hierarchy of the organization and etc etc etc. Okay. Any question? I want to stop there. From tomorrow we are going to talk about the common types of information systems in an organization. Turn on your mic, talk to me.
Sorry, from tomorrow you're going to talk about the common.
We will be discussing the common types of information systems in an organization. In other words, the things that I have shown you in the pyramids, we are going into details now.
Yeah.
We're going to look at the common types. We're going to discuss the transaction processing systems. We're going to discuss their roles, their functions. We're going to discuss the management information systems. We are going into the decision support systems into detail now.
Okay.
Yep. Ask me a question.
So I have a question to the side of important information in an organization.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
There's another point which I think it can be a point, but I was like, I have to confirm. Like, what if I say one of the important is like it creates job opportunities? The information and it can create job opportunities, maybe, or is that a point or?
It is a point, but to the wrong subject, because because the topic is the importance of information systems to an organization.
Okay.
You got me? Yeah. So you see, that is an importance to an individual now.
Okay. But this is to the organization.
Yeah, we are focusing on the importance to the organization.
Okay. Another question is.
Yeah.
Another question we have been discussing about the level and the level, like the management and everything. There's a point I want to ask you. There's some people who are working like at the reception.
Yeah.
Are these people managers or they're not managers? Like
they are not. They are not. They are not. The receptionists are the lowest level workers in any organization, any institution.
Okay.
Do I mean that they are not important? No. I simply mean they are the ones that deal with the basic data, the basic transactions. But we can still have still have a manager deciding to work at the reception.
Okay.
Yeah. But when we talk about front desk, when we talk about reception and front desk, we are talking about people that are actually dealing with. Actually, they are the interface between the organization and the external world. Before we receive a student, before you even came and met a lecturer, you first met what? The front desk. And if the front desk decides that you are not going to meet the manager, you are not going to meet. You understand? They are the link of the organization to the external world. If you want to meet the CEO and you don't talk nicely to the receptionist, do you think you're going to be allowed to meet the CEO? You won't meet the CEO.
No, they won't allow you.
Exactly. So they are there. They have the basic. They are doing the basic transactions, the basic data, and the data that we get from the reception is actually the data that we actually work on and we use in the other levels of information systems going upwards. Yep.
Okay, sir. Thank you. I just wanted to know that.
All right.
Thank you.
Can we call it a day?
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much. Let's call it a day. Quick recover to you.
Thank you. See you tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye.